talk too much, say I ask the wrong things, but if the truth feels weird, then I'm pulling that string. Don't quote me, it's probably nothing. Just asking questions, yeah, that's my thing. Laughing through chaos, digging through lies. If it makes you uncomfortable, I'm doing it right. Don't quote me, it's probably nothing. Say it too loud, now it's stuck in your head. If this all goes wrong, just remember I said it's probably nothing.
Hey. Hi. Hello. I cracked myself up. Welcome back to Don't Quote Me. It's probably nothing. If you're wondering why I'm out of breath, it's because I had to get up off the floor and into this chair. Also, I'm like really, really high. And I breathe heavy than normal when I'm high. So I need to catch my breath. Also, I think like the entire time that I was on the floor doing the hey, hi, hello thing, I was holding my breath, I think. I think that's why I'm out of breath. But anyway, if you're on YouTube and you notice my hair, I don't think you can see my ghost earrings, but they're there. 1, it's super duper cute. B, I'm so excited for Halloween. And D, this is a kind of Halloween episode. And did I tell you it's Wacky Wednesday? It's Wacky Wednesday. I didn't want to do True Crime Tuesday because I didn't want to talk about true crime. And because it's Whackin' Wednesday it is, because it's Wacky Wednesday, I'm sorry I'm talking with a pencil today, I did this cute thing to my hair, which I just told you. And oh no, I'm at the high where I repeat myself. I might need to go sit in the corner for a second. I think I was going to tell you why I chose this episode. Like this Halloweeny, scary, fallish thing. And it's because when I took my dog out this morning, it felt like a crisp fall morning in August. And I was like, ding, Halloween. And here we are with my Halloween clippies in my hair, every single one that I own. Also, if you haven't noticed, well, you shouldn't notice because this is the first time I'm wearing hair clippies, but I love hair clippies. Oh, no, I wore butterfly clippies the last time. But yeah, these are cute. And I have little gingerbreads for like Christmas and stuff. I think I should probably make my own because I want aliens and little UFOs. Do you think I could use clay and make little hair clippies? I'm going to try. Definitely. Not by next time, but maybe in a time in the future. But yeah, so today I'm going to tell you about ghosts that may or may not have been caught on camera. And then we can look at it together and be like, hey, girl, the heck was that? And I have 10. I got to put this pencil down. I have 10 of them for you to see and to watch. I'm starting with number 10 and going all the way to number 1. And number 9 kind of already made me a little scared. Did I tell you my name yet? I don't think so. Well, I'm Kelly. And this is Don't Quote Me, is probably nothing. And it's also the podcast where I get high and talk about weird stuff. So let's go. Yes, I just fist bumped myself. I'm going to show you the pictures in the videos and they're going to be like behind me or something. Or hopefully only the pictures. Nothing. Just kidding. Nothing in real life behind me. Okay. So for case number 10, we are going to England, which I think there's probably many of England. England's a pretty haunted place. But anyway, so this one goes back to 1891 in Cheshire, England, and it's the Cumbermere. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. It's the Cumbermere Abbey. And there's this guy in this picture that's going to be here of Lord Cumbermere, and he was the second Viscount Cumbermere, which you guys probably watch Bridgerton, which is like the best show ever. But that is the only reason why I know what a Viscount is. And there's also a Viscountess, which is like the female version. Anyway, so he was a British military figure and the owner of Cumbermere Abbey. And on December 5th, 1981, he died. He was hit by a car in London. Terrible. But his funeral was being held at Wrenbury, which was about 4 miles away from the Abbey. And a family member named Sybil Corbett, she was an amateur photographer, and she was like, I'm going to go take a picture I don't know why she wasn't at the funeral, to be honest, but she set up her camera inside the library and she was taking the picture with an exposure that lasted like approximately 1 hour. So that's pretty long, I guess. So the room was supposedly empty. It was just a big library, like a really nice big library from the looks of the picture. But when the photo was developed, there was a figure sitting in the chair. And if you look closely to the left side of the picture, you can make out what appears to be the head, upper body, and arm of a man like sitting in the chair. And the people who knew Lord Cumbermere believed that the figure resembled him. But like what's crazy is like his physical body was being buried like at the exact same time this photograph was taken, but like 4 hours away. I mean, 4 miles away. It could have been 4 hours. I don't know how fast the vehicles went during that time, which that reminds me, a couple podcast episodes ago, I went to look at like the first car and the speed limit and how fast it went. And I listened back to that episode like a week later and I realized I never even told you about it. And that's because I forgot to look it up. I think I started talking about something else. But anyway, I wonder like how that photographer felt because she was probably so excited for this picture. And then there's just some transparent man chilling in a chair. I would have been like, I'm not taking pictures anymore. Also, speaking of transparent man, I just have to tell you, a couple weeks ago, me and my husband went out to lunch with 2 friends of ours and we were walking back to the car and this guy crossed the street. And when I tell you this man was so white, he was like translucent, not really translucent. He was glowing. That's how white he was. And he wasn't albino. He had like a hat on and stuff because I bet that sun just a little blow of the sun would probably burn him to a crisp. Anyway, but like you guys remember the movie Powder? I thought that guy was super white. But this one, he was, man, never seen it before in my life. He was just see-through. So before I move on to the next one, number 9, I just want to say that number 9 is the only picture that I looked up when I was like doing all of this. So like 8 through 1, we're gonna like look at the picture or video together so we can be scared at the same time. Okay, so number 9, we're going for a little walk and I don't know which direction, but it's still in England, but it's in North Yorkshire and it's specifically to the Church of Christ the Consoler. The photograph was taken in 1963 by a reverend named Kenneth F. Lord. Reverend Lord was photographing the inside of the church, like including the altar. And when he took the photograph, he didn't see anybody standing there. Obviously, he was like, hey, go and take a picture of that. You know, if someone was there, he would have been like, can you excuse me, please? Because I want a picture of the altar. Anyway, so he developed the film, and then there was someone standing beside the altar. And also, I got a little scared a little bit when I was looking at this because it looks like somebody like did like put a white sheet over their head and then cut out 2 eyeballs in it. But it might not be scary to you, but I jumped a little bit once I found it, once I figured out like where the thing was. It looks like some sort of like long robe or a shroud, and its face kind of looks a little skeleton-y beneath it, and I think that's why it scared me a little bit. But they refer to this picture as, or the person or thing in it, in like side the picture. Let me start over. They refer to this picture as the newbie monk. And some people think it's like a monk or a religious figure. But also, it wasn't like a super duper duper old church. It was like less than a century old because it was built in like the 1870s. So by the time they took this, it wasn't like, I mean, yeah, it could be haunted, but not crazy haunted. Like this place is 1,000 years old, you know? But anyway, apparently the figure is supposed to be like super duper tall, like maybe around 9 feet, but it looked pretty tall. That looked like a whole lot of leg. But the thing that creeps me out about this is that like the other one, it was someone sitting in the chair. Like that guy, the Viscount, he was just enjoying the peace and quiet in his house in a chair, probably reading a book, maybe smoking a pipe. This one, it was like, I'm just going to stare creepily with a sheet over my head at whoever's taking this picture. So like, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I almost said a scale of 8 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate this scariness as like a 3. The first one, I'll say that was definitely a 1. That wasn't really scary. This one had a creepy face, kind of. So that was scary. Now, moving a little bit further into England. This one's in Cumberland, England, which is now part of Cumbria. And this happened on May 23rd, 1964. And there was a local firefighter named Jim Templeton, and he took his family out for a day at the Burgh Marsh overlooking the Solway Firth. Don't know what that means, but you know what? I bet it was in The Sound of Music, just the hill where she's singing, that reminded me of The Sound of Music, which I've only seen parts of once when I was like 5. Everyone talks about how great it is, but I could not give you an honest opinion. Anyway, so the guy that I just told you about, he was an amateur photographer and a local historian. And that day he was like, I'm going to take a picture of my daughter, Elizabeth. And she was 5, if you were wondering. But she was out in the grass holding like a little tiny bouquet of flowers. And super cute picture, And when he took the pictures, he didn't see anybody standing behind his daughter, obviously. But then the film was developed and there was a figure standing directly behind, but like looked like he was like coming out of her head. Anyway, but yeah, it looks like a huge space helmet, like he's just, I'm in space, But anyway, so the picture that he took eventually was like published in newspapers and became a major UFO/paranormal story. After the picture became famous, he said that 2 men who claimed to be government officials came to see him, but they wouldn't show him any identification, but they told him they were from the government. And then they asked him to take them to the exact place where he took the picture. So he did. And when they asked him where the figure was standing, he was like, I didn't see anyone. Duh. And then the men just got angry and left. Didn't the Teletubbies happen in England? It looked like this kind of, but then there was like the other side where the door was. It was like, I was trying to say, I bet he was looking for Tinky Winky because I was attempting to make a joke, but I was cracking myself up too much. But I edited that part out. I saved you my embarrassment. I would have to rate this one a 1 because that was not creepy. Not as creepy as I thought it was going to be. Okay, so moving on to number 7. And yes, we are still in England. But we are going back to 1963 for this one. And this picture was taken at Rainham Hall in Norfolk, England. And Rainham Hall is this enormous country estate in Norfolk that dates back centuries. And according to the legend, one of its most famous residents after death was Lady Dorothy Walpole. Hopefully, I did not pronounce that wrong. Dorothy was the sister of Robert Walpole, and he is generally regarded as Britain's first prime minister. But Dorothy, she married Charles Townshend, and he was the second Viscount Townshend. And according to stories surrounding Rainham Hall, their marriage was not a happy one. So there are a few different versions of what happened to Dorothy. So some say that she was unfaithful, and then others say she was mistreated by her husband. It probably could have been both. But after her death, Dorothy's spirit remained at Rainham Hall, and then she became known as the Brown Lady. Why the Brown Lady? I don't know. Maybe she was wearing a brown dress or something, which is an odd color to wear to a wedding. Not saying she died at her wedding, though. But anyway, it's because she was wearing a brown dress. Anyway, so the first documented sighting of the Brown Lady dates all the way back to 1835. And there was a man named Major Loftus, and he said that he encountered a shadowy woman wearing an old-fashioned brown dress, and then he described her as having like hollow-looking eye sockets. No, thank you. And then the following year, in 1836, there was a man named Captain Frederick Marriott, but it's not spelled like the Marriott hotels. It's Marryat, if you were wondering. But anyway, he also reportedly encountered the apparition, and according to the story, he actually fired a pistol at her, and then the figure disappeared. But can you imagine what if someone was in that door? And I bet, considering it was 1836, the gun was probably not like we have today. probably blew a huge hole in that door. But some members of the Townsend family later reported that they encountered a woman on the staircase and her body appeared translucent enough that they could literally see the stairs right through her. And eventually, Rynham Hall became so associated with like its ghost stories that the Dowager Marchioness, whatever, I don't even know, published a book of ghost stories in 1936 called True Ghost Stories. And it all started at Rynham Hall with the brown lady, the brown dressed lady. I would say I would rate this one a 4 just because it is a little creepy. Like the way you can just see through her as she's standing on the steps. But it looks like she also, what if it's an angel? I feel like that would be Mary. I feel like that's what that reminds me of. Okay, number 6. I'm going to see if I can put a cool, you know, the movie things where it's like it's like the counter, the circle counter thing, and it's like 6, 5. Maybe I'll put one of those up here. But just because I'm not going to start it until right now. Number 6. Okay, so the first 4 cases we did, we looked at pictures, but this one is going to be security footage. So I'm not excited for that because I gotta watch it. It's like a jump scare. I don't do well with scary things. So this one is at Hampton Court Palace and has been around for more than 500 years and is probably best known for its connection to King Henry VIII. And King Henry VIII had many wives and also did a lot of executions, tons of prisoners. There was a lot of death. So if you were to be like, hey, this place is haunted, I wouldn't doubt you. Okay, so this particular story happened in 2003, and this was at Hampton Court. And according to historic royal palaces, staff at Hampton Court noticed something strange happening with one of the palace's fire doors. So they kept opening and nobody knew why. And then they just kept opening like over and over and over. So they were like, let's check the security cameras. So the security cameras reportedly captured what appeared to be a figure wearing like long robes approaching the fire doors. And so the figure appears to open or close the doors before disappearing from view. And they said that this activity happened over 3 consecutive days. So they said on the first day, the fire door opened unexpectedly. On the second day, the door opened again and the security cameras caught the mysterious figure. And then the third day, the door opened again, but there wasn't anyone there. So eventually this video started gaining like international media attention. And then they eventually gave it the nickname Skeletor, which I don't know why they picked that. So I kind of feel sorry for that guy. We should give him another name. Like the first name that popped into my head was Jeffrey, but I don't know if that's a good name either. I mean, not that it's not a good name. I'm sure people named Jeffrey are totally fine. Maybe, I don't know, Mark. Anyway, number 5. So I'm a little sad that we're halfway done, to be honest, but I'll be okay when it's over. But anyway, so this one was actually featured on A&E's Ghost Hunters, and the location was an abandoned haunted hospital known as Worley Hospital. And so the Ghost Hunters team, they went inside because the location had a reputation for strange activity. And during the investigation, they captured something that they said was like a human-like figure on thermal imaging. So we're going to watch that video together. How did this even make the list? Let's see. Did the people from Ghost Hunters get charged? Not charged, but like, weren't they accused by the public of like faking stuff? Or did I just see that in like a mockumentary or something? Anyway, so let me find that video.
That was weird. Something just walked right in front of us.
Are you serious?
Almost as if it came out of this room right here,
That close?
right to the staircase. It was, boom, right in front of it. So, I mean, we can stop and look at it. If you
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Yeah. Did you see that?
Oh, that was a little scary. I know it was a thermal image, but still a little bit scary. I'd say I'd rate that maybe a 6, only because it scared me when it ran across the screen. I don't think I rated the other one. Number 6, I would rate that maybe a 5 only because like the door was opening and closing itself and there was nobody there. And if I worked there, I would I would have left. But this one, number 5, I rated a 6 just for the jump scare part. Number 4. I think I'm going to chuckle at that every time. Anyway, so we're going to go across the pond into our pond to the good old US of A. And this one is in Georgia, in St. Mary's, Georgia. And how did I pick up this pencil? But anyway, we're going to a place called the Riverview Hotel. And apparently, if you check into this hotel, you might get a little more than a continental breakfast. That was so dumb. Anyway, so the hotel sits right on the waterfront in the historic town of St. Mary's, Georgia. And the building itself has a long history. And the hotel kind of developed a reputation for paranormal activity. And one of the stories associated with the building involves 3 sisters who once owned and operated the hotel. And there have been many visitors and investigators who reported to hearing voices, seeing apparitions, and experiencing other unexplained activity inside the hotel. And that's why paranormal investigators from the G Team Paranormal Investigators, that's literally the name, they decided to spend the night there and bring cameras with them. And so they went specifically because the building has a reputation for being haunted. So they brought up all their equipment and they set up the cameras and they do their investigating. And while they were doing this, they were like, hey, we captured something. So they published their own video and so they literally titled it Paranormal Activity Caught on Camera in This Haunted Hotel. Oh man, genius. Anyway, so let's watch this video together. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna say a little prayer that it's not scary because I don't want to be scared. It's 4:34 right now, which is totally fine because the sun is still up, but it's not gonna be up, I don't think, too much longer. But anyway, I guess if I stop talking, I can finish this while it's still sunny. So let's watch the video together. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared already. My heart's racing right now.
Scared? Ready?
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about the renovations that they're about to do in this hotel?
Oh my God!
What happened?
Shh.
What the hell happened, Stacy?
Patty, the pillow just flew
Wait a
off
minute,
the
what?
bed and hit me.
Oh, hell no. Wait, what? Oh my God. Okay. So they're unhappy.
Dang, that's wild. You said, excuse me, whatever you put on my bed is in my spot. Do you think there's a possibility that while the camera wasn't facing that way, that somebody took the pillow and threw it off because it wasn't recorded, I don't think they showed her angle. Let me see. I don't think they showed her video angle. Did she even have video? Yeah, she did, but they didn't show her video angle. So they might have done that one themselves. Because my heart was racing a tiny bit, I will rate that a 6. Okay. So this one might be a little more scarier, maybe. So this, I could probably do a whole episode on this, but I'm not going to. Also, I won't step foot in there because I know it's haunted. But number 3 is, this one's called The Haunted Asylum, Exploring with Josh. And this takes place at Pennhurst in Pennsylvania. Which if you're from that area or even from Pennsylvania, people just say Pennhurst and they know exactly what they're talking about. But for those who don't know, it's Pennhurst State School and Hospital in Pennsylvania. So Pennhurst opened in 1908 and it was an institution for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And over the decades, obviously, thousands of people lived there. Also, did you know that way back when, when they had the mental hospitals and stuff, I mean, they still do, but when they were asylums, you could literally send someone to the insane asylum literally for whatever. And it was always men sending women from for being irrational or crying, or even if they laugh too much, they could be bye. Off to the nut hut you go. I mean, now some parents might be like, yes, give me the vacation. But what a wild thing that you can just send somebody anywhere for anything. Anyway, it eventually became famous or infamous for reports of neglect and abuse that happened, and Pennhurst closed in 1987. And so the site's history is important a little bit because the paranormal reputation of Pennhurst is like deeply tied to the people who live there and all of the documented history of this place and obviously the abuse and stuff. But Pennhurst today is like a huge, very popular destination for people who like investigating paranormal stuff. And they always bring their cameras, you know? So, exploring with Josh, they actually investigated, or he investigated Pennhurst multiple times. So, he went in 2020, and then he went back in 2022. And the 2022 video is the one that like I'm going to show. And it's Our Evil Encounter in America's Haunted Asylum, and then Ghost Caught on Camera. Why I'm reading the whole title, I don't know. Maybe if you want to look it up and watch the whole video, have at it. So they're walking around at night because it's always at night. You know what that was from? That was from SpongeBob. And you know what I'm talking about, right? The SpongeBob episode where it's like, did you ever hold a spatula? At night. Look, Squidward, I'm flipping the patties at night. It was the episode when Mr. Krabs wanted to keep it open for 24 hours. And I think that's where they encountered or Squidward was telling SpongeBob about the hash slinging slasher or something like that. That was probably one of my favorite episodes ever. I'm a huge SpongeBob fan. You know what? I need SpongeBob Clippies. Yes, I do. Anyway, so Josh and his team, they're like walking around. So they keep hearing and seeing stuff. So one of the entities that comes up like during their investigation is supposedly known as Skippy. And he's one of the spirits associated with one of the buildings. But apparently he's a particularly nasty one and doesn't like women. I know it's daytime. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little scared. Maybe like a lot scared. And maybe I should stop this. BRB, I'm gonna go get my dog. I was gonna try and pick her up, but she's super heavy. And then she'll get rowdy. She'll think we're wrestling and then she'll go all crazy. She'll start humping the air. So I'll just show you a picture of her instead. Right, Burkle? Right, my little pretty princess? Anyway, I brought her in here with me because I'm a little scared. So I'll play a little clip of this one. But I'm gonna say a prayer first. Okay.
I think it's gonna play from where we just were. So.
Okay.
Ready?
What is that? Yes? What the fuck? That thing is dropped down there. We never moved it. No. We gotta play that back.
Yo, dude, it's literally going.
It's screaming.
Dude.
Yo, I just grabbed your arm because I freaked the fuck.
How do people do this for normal, like on a normal basis? I don't think I could, to be honest. I would be way too scared. Yeah, that's wild. Okay, I would have to rate this one like a 9 because I had to go get my dog. Number 2. You're not going to see this because I'm editing it out, but I just got stuck watching Baked by Melissa videos because she made this really cool looking salad and I'm pretty hungry. It looked delicious. I am making chicken cutlets for dinner. Okay, we're at number 2 and we're one more away from not being scared anymore. Okay, so we're going somewhere that's seen a lot of history. Okay, so this is on the USS Yorktown, and it's preserved at Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. And the ship served during World War II and has a long history of being like a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier. And because of that history, the ship has developed a reputation for paranormal activity. So people have reported strange noises, unexplained movement, apparitions, and other experiences aboard the ship. So in October of 2014, a production team from South Carolina ATV decided to spend the night aboard the Yorktown, and they brought tons of cameras with them. And they specifically set up unmanned cameras in several areas of the ship. And one of those cameras was placed in a hallway in an area that was associated with previous paranormal activity or like reports of paranormal activity. So the crew placed a camera in the hallway and then left it recording while they continued their investigation somewhere else. So they reviewed the footage later and they were like, oh, dang, I think we caught something in the hallway. This one's going to be a photograph. I can't do a video. I can't do another jump scare. It's the Demogorgon. That's wild. It was probably an old sea guy. I feel like they're haunted from like other sea people. Naval officers, I think is what they're called. Okay, number 1. I'm sorry to disappoint, by the way, because I have a feeling you guys are going to be like, these aren't even scary. These are mild. Not even mild. These are Casper, but I really cannot do really, really scary stuff because I won't be able to sleep for probably a week and a half. And I do like sleep. Okay, so for this one, we are going back across the pond, but a little bit further to India. And we're going to a tiny little neighborhood street in, I think, Aligarh, might be the name of that place. I'll spell it for you. It's Aligarh if you want to look it up. So in January of 2023, there was this video, this strange video that was circulating online. And the video supposedly came from this like narrow residential lane in the new Rahendranagar area. In this area, I'm going to type it up here because I don't know. But anyway, so it shows like an otherwise like ordinary street and nothing particularly like exciting is happening. And then like 11 seconds into the clip, there's this strange white figure that appears and then just it moves away like down the lane. And obviously it's super grainy because it's always grainy. And so people in the area were said to become like really scared after this footage circulated. And well, yeah, I'd be scared too. That's why I don't look at cameras. My friend Jenny, she's literally always sending me videos of like people's Ring cameras outside and these creepy things just like crawling up to them. And she'll send them to me at like 11:45 at night and be like, yo, look at this. No, I will not look at this. Not at all. Not one bit. Because the last time I looked at that, my heart was in my butt. Because this weird, like, do you guys remember that? I think it was in North Carolina or South Carolina. That guy was driving in his truck and something like jumped into the back of his truck or something. And he called 911 and he was literally screaming, this thing's not human. Yeah, she sent that to me of the video and stuff that they recorded and the 911 call. And I listened to the 911 call and I heard the terror in his voice. I don't want to feel those feelings again. But let's check the video out and see what it is, I gotta chill, what it's like.
एकदम अचानक प्रकट होगी एकदम टीवी में वो मूवी वगैरह में जैसे मूवी में होगा क्या वो भूत प्रेत की मूवी होती है और वहां तक जाकर और एकदम
What the heck? Well, we are just going to turn that off. Okay, I rate that one a 10. That one was rated a 10. That scared me a lot, actually, because it just appeared out of nowhere. And looking at the picture, it looked like someone who was large. But no. There, I would not live. Well, that's where I'm stopping. I talked about all I wanted to talk about. Showed you all the ghost things. Hopefully, you liked it. If you're looking for something super scary, that's not me. You might want to check out the Screaming Podcast Network for that because they got all the scary stuff. No, too scary here. Just kidding. But anyway, yeah, you should check out the Screaming Podcast Network for all the scary stuff that they do have. And also, I hope you like this episode because I kind of did. Aside for my heart racing and having to go get my dog, I think it was great. And you'll hear my voice again on Sunday when I do a deep dive into whatever I'm going to be diving deep in. I crack myself up. Anyway, the song of the week this week is another song by Steve Long. I played him like a couple months ago, I think. And this is another song of his. And it's called Crazy. And I hope you go stream it and scream it because it is so good. It's Chef's Kiss. If you could do Chef's Kiss about a song. Stay weird, stay curious, go be kind to someone for no reason, and go be amazing.
some time getting to know you. And now that I know you, there's nothing I'd rather do. It's been an uphill climb, but I'm ready to make it. Yeah, I'm willing to take it if it'll bring me closer to you. I've been letting too much time get by, and I've been feeling lost. You're the reason why. Baby, I must be crazy, crazy for thinking I could live without you. Lately, I've just been looking for someone who reminds me of you. Looking for someone who can love me like you. I made a big mistake. What was I thinking? Well, tell me, what was I drinking? That evening when I let you go, I'm out of my mind. From a heart that is breaking, I'm going crazy from waiting. And here's something I think you know. Baby, I must be crazy, crazy for thinking I could live without you. Lately, I've just been looking for someone who reminds me of you. Looking for someone who can do me like you. I spent some time getting to know you, and now I can show you there's nothing I wouldn't do. It might take some time, but I know I can make it. Yes, I'm willing to take it